Hi everyone, it's Jen and Lindsey, and it's my pre-painting day. We're doing a stenciling project today. It's going to be on one of our brand new boards. You guys, I talked to you last week that I fell in love with those value round plaques, and we have a new surface out of that same type of wood, so we're going to actually stain this one as well. I did some prep work on this one because it's a pretty large stencil that we're doing. So I want to make sure that we could get the entire project completed. So we are going to be working on that. It is a big board though. That's what we're doing today in semi-pro painting. How's everybody doing? If you're joining us for the first time, thanks for checking us out. If you are a repeat viewer, thanks for coming back. Lindsey and I do semi-pro painting / semi-pro stenciling on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. We're always in here in our studio creating a fun project. It can be quick and easy, or it could be a little more labor intensive depending on how much work you want to put into each project. We try to do things within an hour. So you guys, we know you're busy, and if you stop in and watch us, we truly appreciate it. So we try to not keep you guys too long, but we try to keep it under an hour. Sometimes it's faster than that. Last week it was like 30 minutes and we were in and out. It was crazy fast.
I don't think this is going to take an hour because you did.
I don't think so either. I did some, I did some prep work on it. So it won't be too bad.
Y'all can base coat.
You can base coat. You don't need to see me do that. So that's the only thing that I did is base coat one part of it, but that's it. So anyways, Lindsey and I are here. It's gorgeous outside. Guess what? We have the door open today, which means I'm getting some fresh air and the sunshine's coming in on me. It's putting me in a good mood. So I'm excited about that. How's everybody doing today? If you're here, let us know that you're here, where you're joining us from. We always love to talk and chat with you guys while we're in here working on our projects. As we go, I'm going to be talking about painting, but we're going to talk about some random stuff too. So just make sure if you guys have questions, you let us know. Lindsey pops links in for all of the stuff that we use in the Facebook Live. So if you want to grab any of those pieces, you can do that. We do have a bundle available for this project like we do every single week. You get the board and the stencil. Lindsey, I don't know what the price is. We didn't even talk about that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you anything.
She didn't tell me anything about it.
It's been a day.
It's been a day.
So typically, if you buy the board and the stencil,
separate.
It's $14.75.
Okay.
So $14.74 together.
$14.74 if you bought it separate.
Yeah, but I threw it together. It's $9.95.
$9.95. You get the stencil, which, guys, this is a big stencil. Like, look, bigger than my head. It's a big stencil. So we're going to be doing this one. It's a pretty generic. It will work in, I think, pretty much everybody's kitchen. Very home decor-ish. So that's what we're working on. So if you want to grab the bundle, you can do that. It'll be up for the week, Lindsey.
At that price.
At that price.
Yeah.
We actually, do we still have the trendy door hanger bundle?
Yeah,
you guys were loving that. I'm so excited. I'm always happy when those things work out and you guys like it. So the trendy door hanger bundle is still up there. So if you guys didn't get that one from last week and you want to do that, you can. We're doing this stencil today. Next week is the ladybug hanger. Am I right, Lindsey?
Yes.
I got to think about that one now. We had a request for that one. I think it was Terry Brown that asked about that one.
Yes, she did.
So Terry, we are doing that one next week. So if you guys want to grab the door hanger, now is a good time. You want to know why? It's our anniversary sale. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we have our 38% off for the entire cover distribution, or all of the stencils, plaques, and ornaments. Sorry, I want to make sure I got that right. All of those are 38% off right now because it's our 38th anniversary. Chris and John have been in business for 38 years, so we have 38% off of those sections.
We've been here for 38 years too.
On this earth, yes. Working for them now. But anyways, yes. So we've got that going on. So that's a great sale. If you want to grab the door hanger, make sure you get that ladybug door hanger. If you guys are thinking you're going to want to do that, make sure you get that because that's what we're doing next week. And you could get it 38% off, which is an amazing deal. Shh, don't tell the powers that be that I told you that. Okay. Are we ready?
We are ready, but really quick.
Yes.
I want to say hello to Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
Stacy from Florida.
Hi, Stacy.
And Cheryl from Canton, Michigan.
And hi, Cheryl.
And Lurking Linda is lurking. She hasn't said anything yet.
Hi, Linda.
But I can see her.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
I just have to call her out.
That's all right. You do that.
All right.
All right.
Flipping the camera.
Flip the camera and we'll get started. Okay, so this is our brand new board. Lindsey, what's the size of this bad boy? It's big.
By 8 1/4.
Okay, so 20 inches wide by 8 1/4.
And there's a little story behind this board.
It was an accident.
It was an accident because we have another board
that's bigger
by like 12.
Yeah.
And for some reason it wasn't set up in our system, and Papa John went to cut it.
Yep.
And he didn't measure 12. He measured 8 1/4. I said, hold on.
That's not right.
Get rid of that.
No, we will use that because it's perfect. Guys, look, it's perfect for these larger stencils that we
have
carry.
a few of these larger stencils.
Yeah, it's not just this one. There's a laundry room one.
And I think there's a St. Patrick's Day one.
Maybe an Easter.
And we might have to come up if you guys
with some
like
other
this
ones.
size,
Yeah, we can do some other ones. That's never a problem.
But yeah, that's where this board came from. I was like, wait a second.
Hold on, Jen will use that.
Don't
That's
throw
what
it away.
I'm gonna make Jen paint on that. That's how that conversation went.
Yep.
Okay, so I have this grand idea. All right. You know, my ideas very well, like seldom actually work out, but we're going with it. So I'm using a new product today, guys. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I had this grand idea that I was going to block off the outside edge because this is that value wood type stuff, right? So we can stain this, and you guys know I love a stain. So, and you guys love the stain because when she found out we had maple gel stain, guess what? Y'all are buying it. So what I did is I taped off the 4 sides, right? I just used the masking or the painter's tape. This length is what I used for my side. So this is butted up to the ends so I can make sure that it all matched. And then I just painted the inside part country red because this is an old country kitchen stencil. So I figured why not go with country red? I think it'll be perfect. So I did that. So let me pull my tape off. I just wanted to show you guys how I had done this so you would know if you decide you want to do it.
And look at how clean these edges are.
Nice, crisp edges. I mean, I'm going to let you get it up close.
Look at that.
So pretty. I did good. I told Lindsay, I was like, because I kind of cheated to make sure that it was
and last week we had one edge that wasn't, but we figured out what it was.
Yeah, I think it was the tape.
The tape was old.
The tape was kind of old. I found it in the cabinet.
We found this roll.
Yeah, I found this roll. I'm not sure how old this tape is. Listen, we have this awesome supply closet, and when I'm looking for something, that's the place that I go.
You can find anything in there.
I know.
There are brushes older than we are.
There are, and that's where some of my brushes have come from. Okay, so look how nice and pretty those crisp, clean edges are, right? All right, so my plan now is to do my maple gel stain. So this is country red, and now I'm going to use maple gel stain, which is what we used last week, okay? So I'm just going to put that on my paper plate, which is from #Sam's Club. We haven't shout out Sam's Club for a bit, Lindsay. I didn't.
You know that could have been the week.
It could have been the week we could have got our. Yes, it could have been it. It could have been it. Okay, so I'm just going to work with my what size brush? Someone for painting, everybody. This is how we roll. This is the 1/2 inch angle. Okay. 1/2 inch. Awesome. Yeah, I will 100% put my hand right in that gel stain. Okay. 1/2 inch awesome angle. So this is Chris's 1/2 inch awesome angle. I'm just going to go around the sides here. If you're worried about getting it on the red, you could put your tape there. I didn't want to take the time to put the tape down. So I am just going to go this way.
And again, this is an acrylic gel stain.
Yep.
It comes in 3 styles. We only carry the maple. We used to carry the oak and the walnut, but no one ever bought them.
No.
But this maple is a really good, popular color.
It is. It is popular. And I am just adding a little bit of water to my brush, guys, to kind of pull it.
And while she's painting this, I just want to say hello to Terry. And Linda O'Connell said, well, I can hear you.
Hi, Linda.
And Terry, I don't think you were in here. We are doing the ladybug door hanger next week.
Yes, we are.
Just so you know.
So,
you had requested that.
Yeah, you had requested that. So we're going to do that one next week. And then, and get it now. Like if you haven't already got, I think you actually already got it. But if you haven't already gotten it, make sure you guys get it now because we have that 38% off sale on all that stuff. Now, I will tell you that it does not include bundles, guys. It's just the ornaments, plaques, and stencils. But grab any of that stuff with the 38% off. Okay.
Hello, Connie. Welcome.
Hi, Connie. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to use a new product today, which is something I've never done. It was like a trial and error thing this morning because you guys know my love-hate relationship with sanding, right? Like I love things like distressed and sanded. However,
this was pretty funny this morning what happened.
Because I had this idea, guys. I had this idea. And I'm like, Lindsay, I need your assistance. And she's like, okay, what's going on?
She hands me the package and she says, can you tell me if this feels like sandpaper?
And she's like, what do you mean? I go, open it up.
And I'm like,
this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. Our sanding block, right?
I'm like, it's a sanding block. I said, it's probably going to feel kind of like sandpaper.
Yeah.
So I opened it up. See, I sacrificed for her. I did.
But it doesn't make you nauseous. It makes me
doesn't.
nauseous.
And I squeezed it, and I didn't say anything to her, and I handed it to her, and she looked like she was going to pass out, and she touched it. It was a big step.
It was a big step for me, but guess what, guys? I can hold it.
It was some therapy. Now, getting her to hold anything rusty, probably never going to
happen.
But
no,
we don't have anything rusty.
No, we don't. We got rid of all that stuff.
Yeah, we got rid of all of it because of Jen. No.
Yeah. We no longer. If you
really.
were looking for like rusty stuff, it's because we need that. We don't carry. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. Don't let her lie. So, no, it's. I don't know. It just makes me nauseous. I don't know what it is, but this thing does not feel. I think sandpaper is grittier than this thing is, right?
It is.
So,
yeah,
and that's why
it is a different texture, but it's a different material.
I asked Lindsay, and that's why I was like, I think I can do this. I asked Lindsay, I was like, is it like gritty like sandpaper? And she's like, what's a sanding block, Jen? And I was like, yeah, but is it gritty like sandpaper? This is the whole conversation.
You'll never know. I mean, I'm not nauseous. I don't get nauseous when I touch sandpaper, so I don't know what it's like.
What I meant by that, yeah.
So.
Okay, I'm only going to do 2 sides of this for right now because I think like it's taking a little bit longer than I thought. And then we can always go back if we have time. Probably wouldn't have been as bad if I'd have taped it off, but I didn't want to take the time to tape it. So, but this brush is pretty perfect for this size. It's like it was meant for it. Chris knew I was going to be doing this at some point, and that's why she designed this brush.
Speaking of brushes, while she's painting this, we do have a super special price on Chris's comb brush right now. She actually featured it in a video or her live yesterday on Santa Beard. So if you missed that, be sure to check that out on our YouTube channel. But I made the brush super cheap right now. It's only $6.56 right now through next Tuesday. So
you need it first of all.
If you do not have this comb brush, it is great for beards, mustaches, grass, feathers.
Yeah, so she did that feather video
last week.
Can you believe we got Chris twice in a month alive, not like a recorded video?
Yeah.
Twice. When she came in yesterday and she was like, I'm going to do a live, I was like, what?
I wasn't even ready for it. I was like, okay.
What is happening here? What is the world spinning off its axis or something today? Because she's so busy, she doesn't really have time to do that kind of stuff live. So when she says she's gonna, we jump on it. All right. So I'm just going to do this side, one long side and one short side, and then we'll get to stenciling. And then if we have time, we'll finish up the stain. But I just wanted you guys to see how cool this looks. Doesn't this look really neat?
I think so.
With the paint and the stencil on it, I think that looks.
You mean the stain?
Or the stain? I mean, yeah, whatever we're doing right now.
Let's discuss if we don't use our proper words, because how much coffee have we consumed in the past week and a half?
I hope my husband isn't watching.
He's not watching.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you what happened last week, guys.
Story.
Story time. Okay, so last week, I'm always giving my husband a hard time because he works all over the place. He's a lineman, so he's always he works in several different areas, but he's in Urbana a lot, which is where we're at. And I always give him crap. I'm like, you never think to call me when you're in Urbana to see if I want coffee? You know, he knows I love my coffee. So last week, I had stopped at Dunkin' in the morning and got Lindsay and I some coffee. Well, large coffees, like the big Mama Jammas.
Iced coffee.
Yes. So I don't know. It was maybe about 1 o'clock or something, Lindsay. 1 o'clock probably. So about 1 o'clock, I get this text message from my husband, and he said, "I'm in Urbana. Would you like coffee?" And I said to Lindsay, I still hadn't even finished my large coffee.
And it's a secret. He doesn't know we have our coffee runs.
No. I mean, he wouldn't care, but I feel like I'm getting away with something when I do it and I don't tell him I got coffee that day. So it's kind of like just for me. So anyways, he gives me a hard time because I have a coffee pot on my desk, like a little mini Keurig. And he's like, don't you have coffee on your desk? Why can't you just have coffee there? I'm like, because it doesn't taste as good bread. That's why. That's exactly what I sound like when I talk to him. So anyways, I looked at Lindsay. I was like, well, we have a small problem. And she said, okay, what? I said, so Brad just texted and asked if I wanted coffee. I said, How do I answer him? Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I'm lining this up from here to here. Okay, it's perfect on my red from where I taped off. What a coincidence.
Your G's off on your left.
Huh?
The G in the left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see what I meant? I told you I was going to have to adjust this because
Yeah.
this is on the same. Okay, I got what you're saying. Good job.
All right.
Good catch there, Lindsay. Okay, so anyways, I want to make sure this is all on the red. Okay, so anyways, I said, what do I do? And I was like, I got to tell him I want coffee. I don't want him to know that we had it this morning, so we're going to have another coffee. So I was like, well, Lindsay wants coffee too, because if one of us is going down, both of us are going down, right? So we had 2 coffees.
2 large coffees.
2 large. No, the second one was a small.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did.
I was like, I can't do another big one.
Yeah, we did small coffees.
We got small ones.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And he was probably like, why is she only getting a small? But whatever, I'm not going to complain.
And he doesn't know anything.
Knows no better.
So if
we're keeping it on the hush hush.
If you know him or you're friends with him, don't rat us out.
Yeah, don't tell. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the old country kitchen made with love, all of this stuff, and I'm using antique white because I want it to be rustic. So yeah, so we had 2 coffees in one day, but not only did we do that, the day before that, we also had the large coffee from Dunkin'. So like our eyeballs were swimming with coffee last week.
And this week
we started out strong. We're on our 3rd day of work this week, and we've had 3 coffees.
Well, and one of them wasn't Dunkin'. We have a new coffee shop, so we had to like try them out.
Yeah, we had to try it out. I mean, we're coffee connoisseurs here. Okay, so I'm just using my tape here, and I just want to mark this off because it's so close. I don't want to bleed up, like not bleed up, but go up here when I'm stenciling this and then get that, because then the rest of this is going to be off. I might not even put those arrows on there.
You don't have to.
I might just do the wording.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about that.
I don't think you need the arrows.
I don't think I do the arrows either. I might do the stars, but I don't think I need the arrows. Okay, I'm using my big Mama Jamma stencil brush. This is the number 6 Spectacular stencil brush. Love this brush. It's huge, and since I'm doing it all the same color, I am good to just go all the way around, and I'm just going to use this same brush the whole way. I'm just going to keep stenciling around. Look how much paint you can load up in this thing. And then I will just get to keep on stenciling all the way around, so I need to reload. See, it's a good thing I put that tape up there, because look, I know myself.
Terry says she likes it without the arrows.
I think I do, Terry. I think I do too. I think I'm not going to put the arrow on it.
If you did this on like an arched board,
yeah, it would look good.
Would be cool.
Yes. So I'm probably not going to do that. Now, I do want to point out that this Old Country is kind of like a distressed font. So you get some like kind of uneven lines, but that's the way it's supposed to be. So I just wanted to point that out. If my stenciling looks like it's not straight, that's why. So we're going to do antique white on our country red. And you know what I like about this when you get into this? Look, guys, I'm even practiced my swirling. Do you see this?
Linda, do you see?
Linda, I practiced. I do what you guys tell me. I do practice. I know. I'm a little bit kind of crazy about it because I stress out when it's like a live thing, but I do practice. So this is such a good antique white and country red are good colors for like anything kitchen-y. Farmhousey, yep. And you guys know I love that. Super cool stencil. I love the size of this. I love the bigger size on this one.
Linda says she's so proud of you.
Thank you, Linda. Getting all those little creaks and crevices. Yeah, so I have been working on painting up some samples of door hangers. I did the Gone Fishing one. So there's a sample or a picture of that on our website if you guys want to check that out. It is painted up. I did the letters kind of like bobber, like white into red. Ombra'd it. It was kind of cool.
Terry, the ladybug is next week.
Yes, ma'am. Next Wednesday at 1, we'll be in here working on that ladybug door hanger. So what else is going on, Lindsay, around here? Lindsay and I have been busy because we've been busy with the sale this week. I've been working on newsletters. Lindsay's working on the website still. She's still doing some stuff on there. So am I.
I've been in a laser group a lot today.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff that needed cut.
So.
Yeah, a lot of door hangers.
Yes.
And they take a little bit longer to cut because you can only get so many on a sheet. which is not a big deal.
So Heidi has joined us.
Hi, Heidi.
And she says a little tip: if you put a vellum Post-it note on the areas you don't plan to stencil, it will mask off the area.
Vellum Post-it note. Who would have thunk it? Thank you for the advice. I will try that.
We'll have to find some.
Yeah, we'll have to find some. Then you can kind of see through, so you would know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Right now, I'm just using a little bit of the painter's tape that I used on the sides to mask off, but I like that idea.
Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, I'm all about a tip, guys. You know that. You know I'm all about a tip. I like any kind of help I can get.
Amazon. She said.
Amazon. Okay, great. Add to cart right now, Lindsay.
Add to cart right now.
That's my go-to when I'm buying something on Amazon. Add to cart right now. My husband hates it when I say that because that means I'm spending money. Weather is beautiful here. I golfed last night with my husband. Tonight we're golfing with our son. So it's been nice to be able to do that again. I don't really have any plans for the weekend. Do you, Lindsay?
Mm-hmm.
Anything going on? When's John get back? Friday? Her husband's out of town for work. Oh, not till Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll be going to the airport to pick him up.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Might leave him there.
I might leave him there.
Tell John and Chris to stay up because they're going on a trip on Monday. Tell them just to go early,
Yeah.
And then he can bring their car home.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So the mom and dad are going to be gone next week. What are we going to do, Lindsay?
We got to get into something.
We need to do something.
That cause ruckus.
I always like to do something when they're gone. You never know what we're going to pull out of our hats.
Yeah, pay attention next week. We might cause some trouble.
We might just do something. I don't know. Just have to put my thinking cap on, Lindsay, and see what I can find for us to get into.
Heidi says you're doing great.
Thank you, Heidi. I love the encouragement. I need that sometimes. Okay, I'm good there. Just wanted to make sure I didn't have anything too close to the edge. And the good thing about antique white is it covers the red pretty well because it's like a darker white. So we're gonna go with that.
You're still probably gonna need 2 coats.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
But it's a good color.
It's a great color. Okay.
Very popular. You guys like.
Actually, I think I'm gonna do. Yeah, you guys do. I think I'll be okay. I'm just gonna keep going. I was gonna tape off my stars, but
you've got control.
I can. Well, I'm not worried about it because if I go over it, I'm gonna do a darker color anyway.
Oh, that's true.
So it'll cover. Not a big deal. So I'm just gonna keep going.
No big shakes.
No big deal. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna think about 2:30 snack. We haven't talked about 2:30 snack for a bit, Lindsay.
Oh, we haven't.
What are we gonna have for 2:30 snack today?
I don't know.
I'll have to look in my drawer and see what I got in there.
I've got those rice cakes.
Oh, what do I have? I don't even know what I have in mine. I have some saltine crackers.
Ooh.
I know, right? How exciting. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do that too. I wasn't going to because I was going to do a different color, but it's going to be fine because I'm going to go darker color over top of it.
Very nice base coat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Lindsay. It's exactly what I was thinking. So the good thing about this wood, guys, is it is what's it considered, Lindsay? What type?
It's a Baltic birch plywood.
Yeah.
But they're considered seconds, which just means it might have some why can't I
Like
think of the
voids
word?
or something in it, like
Not
or
a
like
void, a plug.
Yes, that's the word.
That's the word. But it is really smooth.
Yeah, it is. It's like super, super smooth.
Laser cut edges.
Yeah, so
it's kind of rough. Some of them can, like, you can see the edge of this one. There's like a
yeah,
little
see that?
knot.
See that right
Yeah,
there?
so it's rustic looking. If you buy this board by itself, this 20 by 8.25, it's $1.75.
They're like super cheap, like crazy cheap.
The other size, the bigger one, I believe is $2. So
Yeah.
it's just affordable pieces. The reason we started doing them is for people that have low forges
And wanted wood to cut out, yeah.
wood to cut out, because a lot of people don't care about knots and things like that.
Yeah, but I just think it gives it character.
Yeah.
I know some people are weird about it, but I think that kind of stuff to me, it makes it look more homemade. Like it, I don't know. I like that kind of stuff. That doesn't bother me at all. I think somebody really took their time to do that. But this would be a fun one for craft shows, because what you could do, honestly, for this, you could put like danglies on the bottom of it and put like other stuff there if you wanted
What was
to.
that word?
Danglies.
It's a technical
It
term.
is it's a technical gen term. A dangly, you never know. But you might want to have something hang on there. You could put 3D stars on here if you wanted to get like wooden stars. You could put stars like in the spots that have the stars.
And these don't have hang holes.
No.
And again, the reason being is the original signs were the original wood was designed for glow forges. So, but we're trying to like show multi-purpose, you know.
You guys gotta understand that we're trying to show you guys different ways that you can use so many of our pieces. So this one is a good, if you wanted to make this like a hanger for the wall, see, I would just put this on like a plate stand on a shelf or something, or on top of my kitchen cabinets, because I have that shelving area above my kitchen cabinets where I could put stuff.
Just laying it on top of mine.
You could put it up there. You could put command strips on it, hang it on the wall. You could put hot glue, sawtooth.
Yeah.
Yep, couldn't think of the name. Sawtooth hangers to it, and then put a like string or something from that. There's a lot of ways you guys could hang these if you wanted to. I've seen people with thin staples staple the back with something like, or on the front of it. Like twine or whatever to kind of rustic it up too. So there's a lot of things you can do to these things that don't have hang holes. Some of our door hangers don't have hang holes.
We're huge fans of command strips. I use the ones that they're not hooks, they're just strips, and it's Velcro. And the majority of the pieces in my living room are hung that way because I live in an older house and we have plaster walls. And we discovered early on that putting anything into a plaster wall is a pain.
It's not fun.
It's not. And it takes a lot of hammering as my husband does not like to do that on the plaster walls. The command strips do well. And we have things that have been hanging probably close to 10 years and haven't moved.
Isn't that amazing?
And I have like my Christmas things, like I'll have the command strips on the back and I just pop them up, and every year, it's nice. I mean, I'm a big fan of command strips.
You know what's nice about that? You never have to be like, where did I put that? Because the command strips are in the right spot. They'll match the one that you have.
Yeah.
Do you guys use command strips at all? I think it's a great way to hang some stuff. I really do. Tell us what you do. I want to know how you guys do it. Almost done with our second coat. It's looking good. So we've got that going on here. Chris did 2 lives in the last 2 weeks, which is insane. We're back next week with the Ladybug door hanger. So we've been trying to do opposite weeks. So like 1 week we do a stencil, the next week we do some kind of painting project. So we had the request. If you guys have see something on our website and you want to see us paint it, we're always available for thinking about. I mean, I can't say we're going to do it, but we will always consider it. So if there's something you see and you're like, I'd really like to see that painted. Now, please keep in mind my painting skills here.
Stacy says she's been drilling holes in some door hangers.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you could 100% do that. You paint enough of them, Stacy, that's for sure.
She's been posting a lot this week.
I know, I saw that. She just did, and she's doing like different coloring, like the same piece, but like with different color combos. I saw that, Stacy. They look great. I just saw the Sea Life one at lunch when I was aimlessly scrolling on Facebook because, that's what we do. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let me do this right here. It looks a little light.
Hit the end in country too.
Okay, let me get a little bit more paint
It's
here.
looking a little light.
A little bit washed. Guys know I don't mind that though.
It's just the left side of it. According to my camera.
According to your camera? The camera never lies. That looks pretty good. Pretty good. This right here. This looks pretty good too. All right. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, I like that. So let's clean the antique white out.
Stacey says, I can't let myself buy more until I paint the ones I have, and I need to buy more.
Right now's the time, Stacey, with that 38% off, girlfriend. We all need to buy more. You know what? I like being able to come over here and play for a little while we're in here, because I feel like I get to do some of this fun stuff too. All right. All right, let me just hit this with the heat gun real quick. I just want to make sure my stars and stuff are dry, because I am going to go over those and I don't want to have muddled paint. So let me do that real quick. All right, so I have zinc because I'm thinking gray, because I'm thinking like silverware and kitchen, like that kind of stuff. So I have zinc here. I'm going to use that on my stars. Get my number 4 stencil because these stars on here are a little bit smaller. So I'm going to get my number 4. And since I'm going over the antique white, I'm just going to have a nice little base coat. So that'll be good. That's stenciled up. Okay, there's that. And then the stars in between each word here. A little bit more paint. That's stenciled in there. So 1, 2, 3.
Hello, Carrie. Welcome.
Hi, Carrie. Thanks for joining us. We are working on a semi-pro painting project. So this is our old country kitchen made with love. And then it says, eat well, laughed often, and love much. Have you guys seen those videos on social media where people go around the house and like read the signs that people have in their house? Yeah. That cracks me up.
And they do it with like it's the way they do
so serious. I love how they're like in a conversation and then they just blurt something out. It makes me laugh every single time. Okay, that dry. I want that kind of rustic coloring, so that's where I'm going with this. This with one more coat. I'm trying to not get too much paint on my brush because I don't want it to bleed through. And I have put some heat on my stencil, and it kind of is bending a little bit, but I'm doing that because I want to make sure, I want to be able to keep moving, and I want to make sure that it's dry. I don't know that it doesn't hurt the stencil. I'm just trying to keep it in place so it doesn't move, because it is kind of coming up like this way a little bit. But I want to keep moving here. I need to get that again. I think this one looks pretty good. One more spot here. See how it's kind of lifting away? That's okay, because my stencil is not damaging my stencil at all. Just making sure my paint is dry. There we go. And I'm just holding it with my fingers like kind of flat to keep it. Okay, so let's see here. What do we got going on? How are we looking? Oh, that's pretty.
I like that.
I like that a lot. Okay, so that is the easy part. That was super simple. Okay, so if you're a general crafter and you just want to stop there, that is totally fine.
And again, she would stain the other 2 edges.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna do that. Well, how long do we have, Lindsay?
You're at 35.
Oh, okay, we've got plenty of time then, because I'm not gonna do a whole ton to this one. So let me finish staining these edges while we're talking. So I'm just gonna stain the rest of these edges because I want to show you.
You know, it almost, that zinc almost looks blue.
Yeah, it does. It kind of does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even on, like over top of it, it kind of does. But, and it could be because I have that antique white under it too. So I am going over like this line here slightly because I kind of want it to look like a frame board. And I'm kind of getting that darker line there from where I first painted and let it sit. So I'm going with that. I don't mind that at all. And again, this is just an angle brush, guys. This is a 1/2 inch, super perfect for like this size. So if you've used that painter's tape and you want to have the brush that's going to let you get a lot of work done quickly, this one's a good one. And you guys are probably a lot smoother hand than me. I'm getting a little bit in my red, but I'm not worried about that at all. So we're going to keep coming around with our stain. I love this gel stain stuff. So easy to work with. Super, super great coverage. And again, I did add just a little bit of water to my brush. Nothing crazy. I just dipped it in there and then blotted it on my paper towel. So let's move that out of the way. Let's move that. I've got tape everywhere. You should see this table, guys. And tape everywhere.
Start to look like me with the tape.
I am. I actually just threw the tape away that I used last week. Because I came over here and I was like, this has got to go. I need this space. I wasn't even thinking Chris was over here yesterday and that tape was there. It's probably driving her nuts. Okay. So the cool thing is we are going to use a really cool tool. I talked about it a little bit in the beginning. This is I tried it out to make sure I wasn't going to gag on camera. Before I came over here, I painted
no one wants her gagging on camera.
I painted a small little square up and so to try it out to make sure I wasn't going to be like, what? Yeah. Because it just, I don't know why, guys. I'm weird like that. Is there anything that like is like normal to most people, but to you is weird? Like it's sandpaper to me is like not cool. This reminds me of like definitely my mom's house. My mom would 100% put something like this up in her house. I would put this up in my house actually. And think about the cost that you have in this. If you bought this bundle, it's $9.95. Okay, but the stencil alone, what does the stencil retail for, Lindsay? If they bought the stencil by itself,
$12.95.
$12.95. So like
you're getting the wood for free and a
discount on the stencil, but like you're paying, if you bought the bundle, you're paying $9.95, right?
Yeah.
But you're getting a $12 stencil that you can reuse and recreate this, and then you could buy additional boards if you wanted to, and make multiples. You could do different colors. You could do a different base coat. This would look good in black and white. My mom has like cows. She collects cows. She loves cows. So she collects like little figurines of cows and stuff. And she's got like black and white checked stuff in her house. So a black and white one for her would be cool. I think that's super farmhousey. A lot of people have that kind of stuff too. So that would be probably an easy sell, black and white. I'm all about easy sells, quick money, fast projects for our craft shows. That's what we are trying to give you when we're in here for our semi-pro painting, semi-pro stenciling. That's the kind of stuff that we're trying to show you guys. Fun, quick, and easy projects that you guys can recreate and make some cash on if you want to. Sell them to your friends. Take orders. What color do you want this for your kitchen? You know, kind of thing. Do you guys do homemade gifts for like holidays or birthdays or anything like that?
Sometimes I do.
I do too. For Christmas, I made everybody in my family and my son's new family. So my future in-laws, I guess, and her grandparent, my daughter-in-law, future daughter-in-law. She's not my daughter-in-law yet, but her grandparents, I made them all one of those initial door hangers that we did the very first semi-pro painting or stenciling that we did. Like I made everybody in I think I made 13 of them or something, 12 or 13 of them.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, but they all loved them. All right.
Stacy says she does.
Stacy, I think people truly, like when you're young, you're like, oh, what am I going to do with this? But I think the older we get, people truly appreciate that kind of stuff. Really do. Like somebody took the time to do that. Okay, I just splashed water on that. I don't want to leave a water spot. Let's get that knocked off there. Okay, so I've got my other side painted. Let's move these brushes out of the way. I don't want to dry any paint on there. So let me just hit this stain stuff. Doesn't that look so pretty with that stain on there? So if you like that frame board look, but you don't want to pay for the frame board, this is an easy way to get that same look without the weight as well. Because sometimes with frame boards and stuff, you have 2 layers, right? This is a single layer now. So you don't have to worry about the weight of the frame board. You've got just a single board. And this stuff is not heavy at all.
Hi, Susan. Welcome. This is Country Red that she used.
Yes, Country Red.
Country Red, Zinc, and Antique White so far.
Yep.
And then the Maple Gel stain around the border.
Yep. So Maple Gel stain on the border, Country Red as the base coat, Antique White for the cream colored letters, and then I used Zinc for my stars. So
Can you hold the board and tilt it forward? Because it looks
like
like
this?
The bottom looks really light on camera.
Like here?
It's a little light, yes.
Like here? Yeah, it is a little light.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I think that's how the wood is. Let me see here. Let's see. It might be how maybe it just needs another little coat, Lindsay.
Okay.
Not a big deal.
Not to pick. I thought it was the camera.
Picky McPickerson over here. No, I'm just kidding.
And our camera setup, our camera is slightly at an angle.
Yeah, and I can't really, I can't see it. Yeah. So Lindsay sometimes she's like, you're off camera or something like that. So she's got to tell me what's going on. Because I've got lights around me, lights above me. So you guys get a good image and you can really see what's going on. So
and
it's
we
hard.
Don't seal our wood.
No, that's an extra step that I just don't have time.
Yeah, she just doesn't do
I literally don't have time, guys. I would, you should.
Literally 5 minutes before we started this, we were in the laser room.
Yeah.
So
I don't even think I think it was 3 minutes before we started this.
We
honestly. Yeah. I think a little bit is, oh shoot, that's the wrong one, Jen. That's Country Red.
Well.
I just put it on the stain spot. Yeah, I think that a little bit of that.
It really is a pretty red.
It is.
Very.
I
don't think you've ever used this.
I used it.
Santa red girl.
I am. I used it one time around Christmas time. I can't remember what we did with it. It might have been that
Did you use
that cutout
Sweet Summer behind you? The strawberries?
Probably.
It looks like it.
It does look like it. I think I also used it on when we did that flourish stencil in the background on that vintage Merry Christmas. Yeah. I think I might have used it on that because I wanted a darker color on the top for the stenciling. Is this looking better, Lindsay?
Yeah, it's darker. It was I think the wood's just soaking it up.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't seal it.
Yeah.
If you seal it, you won't have this problem.
You won't have that problem.
But I cut corners, guys, because I don't have time. I was trying to get orders processed and out the door. / packing orders and all the fun stuff. Okay. That looks better. I love this wood. I wish we had more shapes and stuff out of this stuff. Maybe we can.
Sheila's joined us. She said, caught you live, looking so good, you guys.
Hi, Sheila. Thanks so much. All right. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Now for the scary part.
Dun, dun, dun.
Should I put her on camera at the same time?
Oh my gosh. No, because if I make a face, it's possible that I might make a face. It's possible. I don't know. I tried it earlier and I didn't make a face. Well, at least I don't think I made a face. I don't know. Oh, like a split screen? Okay. Dry. Just want to make sure this is dry. Still looks a little shiny where those edges are. So just give me a couple minutes here and then we're going to move on to the next one. So if you're if you want to keep things simple and not worry about quick, easy, you're done. This to me is pretty enough. It could be done. You don't have to do anything else to it if you don't want to. Not a problem. I think you're all set. You don't have to if you don't want to. I know my ladies who watch us each week like to have a little bit more excitement in their pieces, right? So we have this sanding block, and this is the first time I've ever used it. Well, not the first, because I practiced to make sure I wasn't going to throw up on screen. It looks like this. It is a medium grit sanding block. It's got like foam inside, which is what I'm holding, if you can tell, because I don't want to touch that part. So you who does not have these problems would be totally fine to just grab the black part and go with it. I'm holding on to the sides. So if you know anybody that has an issue with sandpaper, this would be something you could do.
What was that sound effect? Over your sound effect.
Okay, so I told Lindsay, I was like, this is how I explained it to her. I was like, I think could use this sanding box and go, because they're going to do that on screen. I was like, absolutely, I am. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to sand the edges because to me, country is distressed, right? So we want our country kitchen sign distressed. So I am just holding it by the sides.
If you don't want to do this, you leave it.
100% don't have to. You can leave it just like this. I think it looks beautiful just like so. However, I feel like I'm going to distress mine. So I'm just going to kind of like quit, and I'm going to go around the edge. And I'm starting light.
Deep breath.
I know. I'm not making a face, and I'm not making a sound. But it is going, do you hear it? So, she was making fun of me. So I'm just pulling my sanding block down the side. I'm going up and down. See how I'm getting that lighter edge on the side? That's what I want. Can you see that, Lindsay? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm doing that. I've got two sides done. And then the corners, like there. I like that, lightening that up there. I like that. So. And then, of course, the more you go over it, I like that. I touched it. I like the edges kind of like that, almost like, I don't want it to look bent, but I want it to look worn. Does that make sense? And then the more angle you put to it, the more sanding see how I'm going a little further in? So I'm getting more of like the distressed here. Which I like that. And I'm just blowing off the edges to get some of that loose stuff off of there. But I like the edges a little more warm. And I like that that's a little bit, I'm just gonna come around here one more time and go a little further on. So I don't know, what kind of angle would that be, Lindsay? 45?
45. Like
a 45-degree angle, and then going just kind of down. So I'm getting a little lighter onto the inside where the stain is. So super easy way to kind of distress it without like getting out like a sanding tool. Look at that. So easy.
And these are like super cheap. They're like $3.99.
Oh, they're super cheap.
And
yeah,
they hold up.
They do. Super cheap. So that is just distressing kind of the edges of it. Now, if we want to do anything else, we can. I was thinking of maybe taking the zinc and doing some like little dip dots.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Wouldn't that be good? Okay, so let's use Chris's because
Wash the sandpaper in there. I think she's got sandpaper.
It's on this one.
Okay.
It's all by itself. You think I don't know where that is? You think my brain can't sense that? So I'm going to use the zinc because I used it here. And I think because we don't have a ton of it, this is a good place to kind of pull that in. So I'm going to use a stylus. Oh, by the way, we have this awesome stylus. It's a large ball stylus. It's really cool. It's actually, it's this size. It is a good one. No, it's not that one, but this is an old one that she has in here. Oh, wait, I do have it. It's right here. The single ball set. We'll use that one. So this one we also have, and it's super cheap on our website too. So if you're looking for like tools, this is the kind of stuff that I would say to grab. So the sanding block, the stylist. So let's just go kind of here. And I'm just doing all three at once. So it's going to be a little bit gradual in size. And again, you guys know I like to bounce let my dots up and down on my words so it doesn't look so like uniformed. I love to have that movement. Think it helps your eye move. So I'm just going to add some little dots here. I'm doing 3 kind of all over the place on my old country because I think that will kind of pull that zinc in a little bit more. So this is just a little added step you could do if you want. You don't have to. It looks perfectly fine without any of this extra stuff. So if you don't want to sand and you don't want to add the dots, you don't have to. This is 100% design choice. If you want, some people don't like the breaks from like where the words are designed from the stencil. You can totally fill that in. You don't need to leave them like that. You could just take your script liner or something like that and fill those in. So if that's something you want to do, you 100% do not have to. So that I think is pretty good. And then how much time we have? Do I have time to do one more thing, Lindsay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hang on one second. You guys know I love to finish off my edges because I feel like it just looks completed, which I probably should have done that before I did my stenciling.
Terry just said, I had to come out in this part. I hate it when my boss thinks I'm supposed to be working.
Okay, I've got deep burgundy here. And
hi, Amanda. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Amanda.
Gorgeous design.
Thank you. These CD stencils make it so easy to do this kind of stuff. So hindsight, if I were you guys, I would do this before I did my stenciling. But I am going to, am I good, Lindsay, on camera?
Oh, you're mostly on camera.
Okay. I am just going to pull that deep burgundy down the side here. And this is going to give us just a small shade on the edge to kind of like make that blend a little bit. So I'm not doing a ton. I have my 1/2 inch angle here. And I'm just pulling that deep burgundy down the edge and dressing this or finishing this off. I think that shade to the edge just completes that. So this won't take long at all. That 1/2 inch angle, guys, I'm using it. Okay. So there, do you see how it gives you just that depth there? I love that look. So if you were going to do this, if you like this step and you want to do this and recreate this project, you could do it before you do your stenciling so you don't have all of that over that. It will be underneath of there and you won't have to worry about like the bleed through and any of that kind of stuff. Just something about finishing off the edge. You know, it's hard for me just to leave that, especially on like a square piece like this. It's hard for me just to leave that.
Kind of makes it look like it actually in the frame on top of it.
Yeah.
It's like, it gives it like dimension.
Yeah, a little depth to it. Okay. So we're going to have to be smart about how we do this. Let's start over here. Sorry if I'm making you sick by spinning this, guys. So let's start here. I'm going to come right around here. And then I'm just going to lift my brush a little bit on this side. Now you could use a smaller brush. I already have this one out. So I'm going with it. I'm going with what makes it work. I love the fact that you don't need a ton of brushes to make these projects work, right? So I've used 3 brushes, 4 brushes if you count my background, and I am going to be honest with you guys, I did not use my 3/4 inch oval wash today for the background. I used a foam brush because I needed to get it done quickly.
And the foam brush has been retired.
It has. I broke the plastic in it trying to clean it out.
And she's used this foam brush forever.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
forever.
They're not 35 cents or anything. But,
I know.
You know,
Reduce, reuse, recycle, Lindsay. I'm all about saving money. I'm all about saving John and Chris some money.
So you don't have to throw away your foam brushes. Those cheap little foam, you can use them over.
Oh my gosh, clean those bad boys out. Yes, you can 100% use those. Okay, we got one more side to do, guys, and we are going to be finished with this piece. Doesn't that just like help so much? I think it makes it just not look so flat. You guys see how fast I'm going with this now? I've really been practicing it.
All the brushes on all the surface.
All the bristles.
All the bristles.
On all the surface all the time. Okay, now I got to go a little flatter up here because I don't want to get it on my words. because I'm a little tight here. So just bear with me here while I finish this off. Okay, almost done. Does anybody have any questions while I'm finishing up? Yeah.
So this is Amanda Novea. She when we did the Pixelate palette,
Yep.
she was in there.
Okay.
She asked, why do companies retire our favorite supplies and colors too? You know, it's just a part of it. I mean, unfortunately, I mean, we're finding like some of our biggest suppliers just went out of business.
Mhm.
You know, it's just the nature of the economy, unfortunately. When it comes to paint colors, it just comes to, I think it might have to come with ingredients. It could be cost to produce it. It could be popularity. If it's not a popular color to them, they might not make it anymore. But we always like to say, you know, Chris is very big on like there's always going to be one that's a little close.
Mhm.
Chris doesn't like to mix.
No.
She just tries to find the next best.
Not even a little bit. She's like, she will give you a substitute every time if she can.
She doesn't like to stress on it too much.
Uh-uh.
And Terry said, so many come out with a color that is just like the one that was discontinued with a new name. And it does seem like that. You know, it might have been discontinued 5 years ago.
But we think a lot of that has to do with like the coloring or like the ingredients that they need for the coloring. And also I think it's business. Like I don't want to be that person, but it's business. Like I think sometimes they just have to mix things up, right? We all have to do that sometimes in our lives. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. Nobody likes it.
One thing I remember is like lemonade and limeade. To me, lemonade and limeade looked so close.
Yeah.
And they discontinued one first, and then the other one came shortly after it. And then like we have new colors that are very similar.
Look like colors that they discontinued.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, the thing is it's just try not to fret too much about it, you know?
Yeah. Because they will eventually come out with something that will work for whatever it is that you are.
Amanda says, or we are getting old and supplies renew often.
True. I mean, that's very possible too. I don't know, Amanda. I think a lot of times they think that they're helping us too. And I think getting us out of our comfort zone, we all get stuck, right? Like we all get like, it has to be this way. It's always been this way kind of thing.
I do have to say with, especially with Deco Art, this year's release, I don't know, I think Jen might actually feel this way. It's one of the best releases.
Yeah.
And I've worked here a long time and been through a lot of color releases.
Yes, I have too.
And this is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
The 12 new colors that came out this year. I just think they're beautiful. And last year's, other than salted caramel, was not my favorite.
See, I like salted caramel, but not like by itself.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at them. Like, of course, our favorite was Baby Duck for other reasons. But I mean, you know, I think it's just like Jen said, getting out of your comfort zone. Just get coffee and paint. That's what she said.
That's right. That's right. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Get coffee and paint. And then I also think it like stretches us, right? Like if something that we're used to isn't available, then we're like, well, you know what? Maybe I will try it.
Yeah, I had a customer call this week and she had an older pattern and she was looking for blue chiffon. Blue chiffon was one of those ones that we could not understand for the life of us why
they discontinued, because you guys know I love that color.
And we sold a ton of blue chiffon. And we look at it based on like, okay, well, we sell a lot of that color.
Why are they getting rid of it? Yeah.
But you know, Chris is like, I just use spa blue.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not the same, and other designers have different opinions, and that's fine. You know?
Right. It's their design. They can 100% do that.
And it's just, you know, Chris just doesn't stress too much about it. She's like, it's, you know, for me, it's close enough.
You know, I got to tell you something about Chris, guys, while we're just kind of chatting. She is the woman who has the best attitude about stuff. Like, I feel like some days my world is falling absolutely apart. And she's just
it's always sunshine.
It's always, she will. And she'll look at me and she'll be like, it's going to be okay, Jen. It's just going to be fine. You know, I just have these meltdown days sometimes. And she's always like, it's just going to be fine. But that's how she lives her life. Everything about her is like totally fine. It's good. It's fine. You don't need to stress, you know, and I wish I could be like that more. And I really try, I think like her sometimes. And I'm like, gosh, Chris would just be rolling with this like it's no big deal. And then I think, you know what? It's really me being upset about it isn't going to change anything. Like, so just roll with it, Jen. It's going to be fine. So.
You're welcome, Amanda. She says really nice to hear what we think.
Okay.
It was good talking to you. It was nice to see you in here. Well, quote unquote, see you.
Chat with you. Okay, so while we've been chatting, I've just been taking the same color, so deep burgundy, and I've just been going around some of my letters to kind of give it that shade underneath.
And it's popping.
And it makes it just kind of pop a little bit, which you guys can totally not do that if you don't want to. I got a little bit on my E here. But that's a step that you could take if you want, but not necessary to make this look so great. Like so easy. So I will finish doing my letters here. I'm probably just going to do this. I'm not going to do this down here, but I'm going to go around here. But I will let you guys go. I don't want to keep you guys any longer because I know we got to be close to an hour, right, Lou?
101.
Okay, perfect. So you want to switch the camera, Lou?
And Terry said her voice is so soothing. Chris's voice.
Oh, it is. Her voice is very soothing. Okay, so that is our project today, guys. That is the Old Country Kitchen made with love on our brand new service that's only been out, maybe like 3 hours. So, because it was literally sitting on Lindsay's desk. And I was like, do you have that online yet? She's like, oh, no, I don't. I need to do that before we go in for the live. So you can grab this stencil, you can grab this board, and you can recreate this piece. Don't forget we used the sanding block tonight, tonight. Oh my gosh, it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. It's today. I used the large ball stylus. We do have this as well. If you guys need a stylus, this one's awesome because it does have that bigger point on it. So that's a great thing too. Painter's tape, 5 colors, and one of them is gel stain. So maple gel stain, country red, antique white, zinc, and deep burgundy. That's it, guys. Super simple project, super easy. Some masking or painter's tape, paint that edge off, and then you can get a cool looking faux frame board. So that is really cool. And I like that sanded edge on there. I really like how this turned out. So if you guys want to grab this bundle, you can do that. It's $9.95 until next week. Any of the items that we do a special deal for that week. So make sure you hop over to our website, citywood.com. We have our 38% off sale. So make sure you grab that. If you want that comb brush that Chris showed you in her live yesterday, grab that now because I don't know how long that price is going to stay, probably for like a week, maybe ish. Next week. So
next Tuesday.
The $6 and something price for that brush, you can grab that as well. So, all right, guys, we are back next week with a door hanger. We're doing a ladybug door hanger. Make sure you grab that during our sale right now, guys. You can save some money. All right, Lindsay, anything else before we go?
No.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. We had a great time, and I will finish this up, and we'll get a picture posted on the website. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.